Besides being two of the most controversial and shadowy names in the American elite, involved in scandals of global proportions, Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein are extremely powerful figures who built great fortunes throughout their respective careers. Despite this, both were the targets of serious accusations, investigations, and dark stories involving luxury, sex trafficking, and million-dollar parties. But have you ever stopped to think about who lived the most luxurious life? In today's video, you'll watch a fierce battle between Jeffrey Epstein and Diddy. Both magnates spared no expense on good places to live, but which one owned the most valuable properties? The most valuable property Diddy owns in California is his main mansion, set up as a European-style villa in the Holmby Hills neighborhood. In a video for Vogue's 73 Questions, Sean Combs showed off some of the luxurious rooms in his cleanly designed mansion, which is 17,000 square feet in size. The open layout venue integrates a bar, which on the day of the recording had a professional waiter to prepare drinks and serve them to the singer. Another place Diddy showed off in the video was a more private living space, which features a classical piano nearby, as well as a table with awards and trophies the rapper has won over the years of his career. The rapper's mansion even has other impressive amenities, as it was built under specifications by developer Niall Niami. There is, for example, a beautiful hall at the entrance, as well as several living rooms which, at the time of the records, had a more classical and formal style, but which seemed to have been redecorated when the rapper bought it. The place also has a game room and a wine cellar for drinks, next to a green-walled kitchen, as well as having 11 luxurious bathrooms, a library with wooden bookshelves, and 8 cozy suites. Outside, the mansion's lot is 1.3 acres, featuring wooded gardens, a casual dining area, a tennis practice court, and a resort-style pool that features an underwater tunnel. According to media reports, Diddy bought this mansion in 2014, shelling out a whopping $39 million for it. Meanwhile, Jeffrey Epstein's most expensive properties were his islands located in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The first one he bought was Little St. James, with more than 70 acres, in 1998, for a mere $8 million. Years later, in 2016, Epstein bought the neighboring property, called Great St. James, with more than 160 acres, for $22.5 million. To give you an idea, the Financiers Islands were true private paradises, complete with a helipad, private pier, a luxurious pool with spectacular views, beaches with crystal clear waters, a large mansion, and even a few villas. But according to investigations, his intention was to have more and more privacy in these locations in order to commit crimes related to sex trafficking. And as reported by the media, the islands were sold in 2023 for a total of $60 million. And because he owned more expensive properties, Jeffrey Epstein wins this round. Point for him. Controversial figures like Diddy and Jeffrey Epstein always liked to travel with maximum sophistication, but who had the most impressive private jet? Diddy, for example. The model of the rapper's jet is the Gulfstream G550, one of the safest and best-performing air transports in the world, capable of reaching speeds close to the speed of sound. The interior of the jet is very comfortable and luxurious, and can hold up to 16 passengers depending on the configuration adopted. To get an idea of the price, it is estimated that Diddy's aircraft cost around $60 million. The rapper really has to be very rich to disburse all this money and to be able to afford the various expenses of the jet. It was revealed that Epstein, in turn, owned a Boeing 727, a modern 153-foot-long aircraft that travels at a maximum speed of 517 miles per hour. In its customized versions, the jet has a spacious ergonomic cabin with an exquisite dining area, a room for resting during the trip, a compact kitchen, and even a luxurious bathroom. And if you're curious about the price of an airplane like this, you'll need to spend around $1.5 million. Rising further in price, another jet that Jeffrey Epstein owned was a Gulfstream G550, one of the most modern and luxurious aircraft in the world. At 96 feet long, this aircraft has a tall and spacious cabin with a compact kitchen, a dining area, and a living room, and can carry up to 13 passengers. And for those who want to own a jet like Jeffrey Epstein's, know that his model was valued at an incredible $61 million. And since Epstein invested more money in his private jets, he wins this round. When it comes to high-end automobiles, the word economize wasn't part of the vocabulary of either businessman, but who owned the best vehicles? Starting with Jeffrey Epstein. In 2019, when authorities were seeking to seize his assets, it was found that he had at least 16 vehicles, including a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, a luxury van valued at around $50,000. Records also show that he owned a Toyota Land Cruiser, a sophisticated and imposing SUV that stands out for its versatility and excellent off-road capabilities. To give you an idea of the price, this vehicle costs around $57,000. Epstein also owned a Cadillac Escalade, an elegant and fast car that seats 7 and offers plenty of comfort for its passengers during trips. And to own a car like the financiers, you need to shell out around $93,000. His garage also housed a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, an elegant sedan with state-of-the-art technology that accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in approximately 4.5 seconds. And it's no wonder that to acquire a car as agile and technological as his, you need to invest around $133,000. Even more expensive, Epstein owned a Bentley Mulsanne, a large and very elegant sedan for traveling in comfort and refinement. And it's no wonder that the price of this vehicle was estimated at $188,000. Jeffrey Epstein was also seen with a ZIL 41047, a classic and elegant Russian limousine that delivers approximately 315 horsepower and costs around $190,000. The financier also owned an Aston Martin DB9, an even more expensive sports car, whose latest models can exceed $250,000. Another fact that was revealed is that the financier had 7 Chevrolet Suburbans in his garage, one of the largest SUVs from the American automaker Chevrolet, known for its gigantic size, transport capacity, and comfort. With its imposing and muscular look, this robust machine can safely transport up to 9 people, which is why it is often used by celebrities and American political figures. One car costs an average of $65,000, but since Epstein had 7, he spent about $455,000 on them all. Diddy, in turn, has been seen with the following cars: a Jeep Wrangler Unlimited for more extreme rides, a rugged 4x4 that costs about $35,000, a Cadillac Escalade, with which he was involved in a traffic accident. This car costs about $75,000. A Chevrolet Corvette, a collectible vehicle worth about $100,000. A Ferrari 360 Medina Spider, a luxury sports car that costs about $110,000. A stylish Ferrari F430 Spider capable of reaching a top speed of 193 miles per hour, which justifies its price of $217,000. An iconic Lamborghini Gallardo Spider, a high-performance sports car capable of accelerating from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.2 seconds. And the price of this machine reaches that of $300,000. And perhaps the most expensive car in the rapper's garage is his Rolls-Royce Phantom, one of the largest and most refined sedans in existence, being worth around $450,000. Considering the sum of the prices of the vehicles, Diddy wins this round. Point for him. The two magnates lived in many places throughout their controversial careers, but who owned the largest real estate portfolio? Starting with Diddy. He is speculated to own an apartment in nearby Miami Beach in the state of Florida, purchased in 2012 for $2.7 million. Another property he has in this very sought-after region is a mansion on Star Island Drive, which is 13,700 square feet in size and situated on a 1-acre lot. According to some sources, Diddy purchased the mansion in 2003 for $14,500,000. But that's not the rapper's only residence in that area, as in 2021, he bought the mansion next door. The 2-story, Floridian-style property sits in front of the beach, being about 8,000 square feet and being located atop a 1.3-acre lot where Diddy can live in luxury in one of Florida's most coveted regions. The living room has a clean decor that brings more lightness to the area, turning itself into the ideal space for social gatherings, while the very spacious kitchen has large countertops and great white cabinets, besides integrating a breakfast area. There is also a formal dining area, 10 sophisticated bathrooms, and an elegant piano room with large arched glass windows. In total, there are 6 bedrooms, among which there are some suites. The master suite, for example, has a luxurious marble-clad bathroom and a modern walk-in closet. Outside, the lawns offer privileged views of the bay, integrating a charming private pier. There are also tropical and many palm trees throughout the grounds, as well as a resort-style pool with a separate spa to relax in, plus there are relaxing patios and a barbecue area. Diddy bought the mansion for $35 million, but the original listing was asking for the unbelievable sum of $40 million on the location. Epstein, in turn, owned multi-million-dollar properties that were put up for sale. Starting with the simplest, the tycoon owned an impressive apartment on Avenue Foch in Paris, the capital of France. It is known that the apartment consisted of 2 units joined together, totaling about 7,400 square feet in area, and was one of the places where he allegedly committed crimes. In 2001, Epstein bought the apartment for $3.2 million, until in 2022, his estate sold the place for $10 million. In New Mexico, the financier owned Zoro Ranch, a huge rural property covering an incredible 10,000 acres. Currently called San Rafael Ranch, the property has a first-world structure, featuring a 3-story mansion with 30,000 square feet of floor space. Among the main spaces in this mansion are the living room with a spectacular view of the region, a huge classic-style library, an ornate kitchen with a dining area, a cozy outdoor lounge, and even a helipad. According to some sources, the ranch was purchased in 1993 for $12 million and was last listed before the sale for $18 million. Raising the price, Jeffrey Epstein also had a mansion in Palm Beach, Florida. Built in the 1950s, the 10,700 square foot mansion was mentioned 13 times by the prosecution in the report on abuses committed by the financier. As reported by the media, the mansion was purchased in 1990 for a mere $2.5 million. After Epstein's death, his estate sold the property for $18.5 million. Since then, the property has been demolished by the new owner. Another impressive place that belonged to him was a 7-story neoclassical mansion located in Manhattan, New York City. With approximately 28,000 square feet of floor space, the interior of the mansion resembles a palace with its classic style, period furniture, and statues, and was one of the places where he took dozens of victims, according to investigations. To get an idea of how much this property is worth, it was sold in 2021 for $51 million. In addition to these properties, he also had 2 other properties in Ohio, a $365,000 brick house and a Georgian-style mansion in the same city, which he sold for $8 million. And because he owned a larger real estate portfolio, point to Jeffrey Epstein. There is no doubt that both magnates, involved in scandals of global proportions, were extremely rich. But which one had the greater accumulated fortune? Jeffrey Epstein, for example. His main source of public income reportedly came through his consulting firm, J. Epstein & Co., which was later renamed Financial Trust Company. Through it, the financier managed the assets of clients with net worths of over $1 billion. Among his most notable clients were Les Wexner, the former head of Victoria's Secret, Leon Black, former CEO of Apollo Global Management, and Elizabeth Johnson, heiress to Johnson & Johnson. And it is no wonder that, according to some sources, Epstein earned $100 million a year at the height of his administrative career, with data estimating that the company received more than $15 billion at one point. Another significant source of income for him was through investments in stocks and other companies, although the names of each of them are unknown. And in 2019, after allegations of sex trafficking of minors were revealed, it became clear that much of his fortune was also built through illegal practices, although the exact figures have never been disclosed. And although no one knows for sure how much Jeffrey Epstein was worth, some sources estimate that at the time of his death, the financier had a net worth of approximately $600 million, but some rumors suggest that he became a billionaire while he was alive. As the founder of Bad Boy Entertainment, Diddy, in turn, achieved great financial gains. After all, he owns music rights to various artists and receives royalties. Not to mention that the company has been targeted by several groups interested in buying it, being valued at its peak at $100 million. But Sean didn't just limit himself to the music market, which contributed to the further growth of his wealth. With the successful sales of Sean John's clothing brand, he has gone on to make revenues of over $525 million annually. The brand was so successful that it even received an investor's contribution of around $100 million in 2003. Until in 2016, Diddy sold 90% of Sean John to Global Brands Group. The value of the deal was not disclosed, but the entrepreneur certainly pocketed a lot of money. Until he bought back his brand in 2021 from the bankrupt owner for $7,500,000. We also can't forget the contribution of the following brands to Combs' wealth: Vodka Ciroc, Tequila de Leon, Aquahydrate Drinks, and the Revolt TV network. Taking into consideration Diddy's personal earnings for all his sources of income over time, it was reported in the media that he made about $28 million in 2007, $35 million in 2008, $90 million in 2022, and up to $130 million in 2017, becoming the highest-paid musician of the year according to Forbes. With him making so much money for over 3 decades, in 2022 Sean Combs officially earned the title of billionaire, with an estimated net worth of $1 billion. Even such, he surpassed Kanye West's net worth and became second only to Jay-Z in the ranking of the richest names in hip-hop. And because he possessed a larger estimated fortune, Diddy wins this last round. Point to him. At the end of this battle, we have 2 points for Diddy against 3 points for Jeffrey Epstein, making him the great champion. But if you believe there are still other arguments to defend one of the two, write your best justification below. Hey, you like the video? So don't forget about leave your like and comment, and tell some suggestions of another videos, and hopefully we gonna do it. All about channel Dios to satisfy your curiosity.